It's a rare thing in the life of an MK to get to spend 20 years working and living side by side with a friend like Mary Ellen. She and I were both aware of that blessing, and much has already been said tonight about her laughter, so I won't try to describe the sound, but if you just pause and imagine it for a minute, I think you can hear it. As central as it was to the memories many of us have of Mary Ellen, I think she would want this evening to be about more than remembering the sounds and events in the life of an extraordinary person. She would want this evening to point towards Jesus, as the rest of her life has. She didn't say God or the Lord very often. She said Jesus about this person who was central to her conversations, her work, and her purposes. She simply called him Jesus, and every time she said the name, there was a sort of softening in her voice. Do you remember that? Our last trip together was to Switzerland. Mary Ellen did some internet sleuthing and found us the perfect little chalet with the perfect little British couple hosting us. And then she found us a tortuously steep mountainside she decided we needed to climb. Now, if you know me, you can imagine my response. But off we went. Mary Ellen was a persuasive soul. When we stood at the foot of the mountain looking up, unable to see the summit, she said something like, "It'll all be worth it once you get to the top." It was more than an inspirational sentiment. It was the way she lived her life. And her life by no means was all sunshine and roses. She had some mountains of her own to climb, some spiritual mountains, some single girl mountains, some health mountains, some relational mountains, some MK mountains. She was one of us. On our day in the Alps, I found countless reasons to turn back, to drag my body back down the hill. Even the cows and sheep we crossed seemed disinclined to go any higher. And as cable cars passed overhead, I'd point and say, "Why didn't we do that?" She'd giggle and trudge on, saying, "You won't regret this when you get to the top." She prodded and encouraged and pled and cheer-led until, huffing and puffing, I cleared the last ledge, and oh, the view from the top. So students and staff, though Mary Ellen isn't here anymore, to poke and prod and encourage and love and lead, I know she'd want this commemoration of her life to be one more chance to point us towards the top. From her own life, she knew it wasn't easy. She'd wrestled with her faith and with the apparent contradiction between pain and a good and loving God. But she had trudged through the doubt and incomprehension and found Jesus in the process. She didn't believe in cable cars that skimmed the surface of pain. She knew that climbing our mountains one step at a time, sometimes one painful step at a time, was the only way to true discovery, true healing, and true reward. That, I believe, is her greatest legacy. This cheerleader of the weak and seeking isn't among us anymore, but she'd want us all to keep climbing, to keep struggling, to keep moving up life's mountainside with the encouragement of those who have gone before. Seek Jesus. Don't give up. Keep climbing, because, oh, the view from the top. A few years ago, I directed a choir here called Kenanaya, and one of the songs we recorded, she kept asking me to say the words again to her, the words of that chorus. And every time I'd say the words, she'd cry, but that was Mary Ellen. Why would you want to make yourself cry? But she loved those words. And all day Easter, after I'd heard the news, I wondered if those words described her entrance into glory. They said, "But just think of stepping on shore and finding it heaven, of touching a hand and finding it God's, of breathing new air and finding it celestial, of waking up in glory and finding it home. I miss her. I can't imagine a life without her. But oh, the view she has today.